In our village, there's rumor in the air that young boys, when they got lost and when they been found after 2 or 3 months, they often they lose an organ. That is the first time I heard this, somebody stealing organs. So there's a black market. And there's something very dark going on. I was born in a small city. It is in the northwest of China. I was born in that town and grew up in the capital city, Urumqi. And I studied medicine in another city called Tashbalak. Then I worked as oncology surgeon in the Railway Bureau Central Hospital in Urumqi. I consider myself as, by race, as I'm a Uyghur, quite ancient community, and they had a gloried time in 8th and 9th centuries. In China, all medical college, they study, the subject of study is same. Only when you come to the hospital, and the hospital will assign you to a different department according to the need. So I was sent to surgical department, general surgery. Later, they established the oncologist department. Then they sent me there. So I become oncologist surgeon. As a young doctor, we go to the outpatient department in turn. So in 1990, it was my turn to sit at the outpatient department. And there was a middle-aged man with his teenager son. And he came to me. He was wandering around in that department when he saw I spoke Uyghur language, because he doesn't speak Chinese. So he came to my office and he said, "Could you please examine my boy if he has lost any organs?" And I said, "Well, that is weird. Why? What made you to think that way?" And he said, "In our village, there's rumor in the air that young boys, when they got lost and when they've been found after 2 or 3 months, they often they lose an organ." That is the first time I heard this, somebody stealing organs. So I examined his boy. Since I couldn't find any scar on his body, so I told him and I said, "Nobody can steal an organ from your boy without leaving a scar. So don't worry, go home." Then he was so happily went home. And to my surprise, from next day, my office flooded. Because he told those villagers that in that hospital, there's a surgeon who speaks Uyghur, which in my age, in my generation, in that area, it is quite rare. Minority, they don't often get a chance to get such training. So in next 6 months, I received more than 100 young boys and girls, because he told those villagers, and the villagers told the relative told the relative, my God. So from more than 100, I found 3 boys. They had a scar on their body. From that scar, I can say that is a kidney surgery, because kidney is quite deep inside. So that scar, it is a unique shape of letter U letter. So later, the ultrasound has confirmed that those 3 boys, they had 1 kidney missing. And that was the first time I come across this organ thing. And well, since I was quite young, I didn't have such big, ambitions or suspicions. So I didn't pay too much attention. And I thought, well, yeah, there are so many bad guys out there. Then until 1995, I guess that was a Tuesday because my scheduled surgery days are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And that day, since I wasn't scheduled for surgery, my chief surgeon called me to his office just one day before, and that was Tuesday afternoon. And he said, would you like to do something wild? Of course, I'm a young surgeon. How wild can it be as a surgeon? Are we going to have fight or hunting or whatever? And he said, if you wish, that's good. Now you go to theater and ask the chief for a largest box for surgery, mobile surgery. Largest one because we have 4 different levels. The small one is just small operation. The largest one can handle any surgery. And he said, get one largest one and ask for 2 nurses and get your 2 assistants and waiting for me 9:30 at the hospital gate tomorrow morning. I was really excited and I said, wow, I got everything ready. Then next morning, my 2 chief surgeons, they appeared in the car and the chief surgeon said, okay, follow us. So we jumped into one and we started following them. By the direction of travel, that is towards Western Mountain District. As our hospital is called the Railway Central Hospital, we had a branch hospital in the Western Mountain District. And I thought we are going there to help them to do some difficult surgery. Well, then halfway through into the journey, we turned left again. Then I got lost because I have never been to that part of the world. And Western Mountain, as the name suggests, it is just so many mountains, huge. Our driver, the ambulance driver, he knows. He said, this is the road going to the Western Mountain execution ground. I was scared, actually. I said, execution ground, what are we going to do there? We are doctor and we are surgeon and the nurses. Well, since we are halfway through and we are not allowed to ask any question, we just follow. But I was really scared. Then we arrived there and our 2 chief surgeons, they were waiting behind the hill. And he said, you guys wait here, and when you hear gunshots, you come around. I said, okay. So they left. Gunshots. I can't describe what's the mood or what's going on with my mind. Mostly I was scared because I was the only non-Chinese in the team. So I thought, are they going to shoot me? But I didn't do anything wrong. Don't know how long we waited, 40 minutes, an hour. Really cannot say. Then we started hearing this whistle blowing on the other side and the engine's noise, somebody shouting and the people chanting, then gunshots. That shot it's not like machine gun. It is many rifles shoot at the same time. Then we just jumped into the one and said, let's go. We come around and we can see from this slope of the mountains, there are 10 or 20, and I don't exactly know how many dead bodies. They were with prison uniform, and the head is exactly like mine. And then the bullet shoot from behind from here, and it come up from here. So this part blown away. Then this time there was a police officer shouting to me, said, "Go the far right, that is yours." And I was shocked again. I said, "Why? It's mine." Anyway, we have to follow the order because everyone has gone there. So we followed to the far right, and our two chief surgeon was there. And then they called me to the side while others putting a body lying on the ground with civilians' clothes, with long hair. And I can see that wound is to his right chest. So while they are putting this body inside one, my chief surgeon briefed me, saying, "Now do as quick as possible, remove liver and 2 kidneys." I was such a relief at that moment. I said, "Wow, okay, they are not going to kill me. Okay, remove liver and kidney, it is a piece of cake." So I was energized by this great news to me. Of course, to this executed person, it's different. So I jumped into the one, and they have prepared already. And my chief surgeon standing on the next to me to the left, guiding me and telling me what to do, where to go. So when my scalp tried to cut through, and this man tried to struggling, then I said, "Whoa, he's not dead." At the same time, I also saw this blood is coming out from this cut. And the chief surgeon said, "Hurry up." So I pretended that nothing happened. This kind of surgery, to me, I found it's very easy, because normally when you do surgery, you have to be very careful not to damage the organs, anything next to it. One organ you need, and then others, it doesn't matter. If you damage, if you cut, it's no problem. So it was really quick. Then our two chief surgeons put this liver and the kidney in a box and then left. And before that, they said to me, "Now you take your team back to the hospital, and remember, today there's nothing happened." We lived in that society for a long time, and we know exactly what that means. Since that day on, none of us has ever talked about it. And this is, it's kind of burden, and I try to forget.
Hi, welcome to Deep.
This channel goes a level deeper.
Deep is a brand new YouTube channel that is dedicated to the amazing experiences of incredible individuals.
We basically try and answer the questions that you always want the answer to, but you don't feel like you can ask.
Myself and the team are responsible for a lot of the factual content that you might have seen on YouTube, Minutes With, The Gap, Agree to Disagree, among others. And we set up this new studio and this new channel to go a level deeper.
We will be uploading a new video every single week.
There'll be a wide range of stories, so please hit the subscribe bell.
Please let us know in the comments if there's anything you want us to cover, any stories that you've been interested in, any questions you wanted to ask.
We hope you enjoy. Now back to our story.
I just want to explain why this happened in China, because there's a demand and there's state-sanctioned. Compared to the UK, waiting for an organ, you need to wait for 2 years. And in China, as short as 4 hours. There was one case, they have found second pair of liver in 4 hours time. How can they achieve that? And when this COVID pandemic started, in Beijing, there was a newspaper has reported a lung transplantation. And they said, "We have found a new way of treating this COVID patients, lung transplantation." On that report, they clearly stated that the first pair of lungs didn't work. They find the second pair in 2 weeks' time. How? How can you do that? In 2008, in the Chinese city of Kunming, there were 6 surgeons. They have wrote a paper published in the Chinese top medical journal. That paper says about 2 cases of combined heart and lungs transplantation. In that paper, they clearly written the procedure when the donor brought into the room and the general anesthetic was applied. This tells you what? This tells you this donor is alive. If the donor is not alive, you don't need to apply for anesthesia. No, you don't need that. Once you applied it, it means he is alive. Again, if that was 2 cases of kidney transplantation, I will be okay. I will not say anything. I can sell 1 organ, 1 kidney and get my money and go. But that one was 2 cases of heart and lungs combined transplantation, and they didn't tell you what happened to the donor. The donor is dead because the donor never wake up from this general anesthetic. You see, they brought this execution into the theater where human beings' life should be saved. That is the reason I left China, because I cooperated with Channel 4 for a documentary film called Death on the Silk Road. It's about this nuclear victims. Chinese Communist Party, they tested 48 nuclear bombs in Xinjiang. And that has brought that local population's cancer rate out of control. In 1994, I had a question as to why there are so many local people. Because the railway hospital and the workers for the railway system, they are 99% they're Han Chinese. Local minority, they are very few. Even that, in one of my wards, there was 10 beds. They are full of local people. So I said, why? I did an investigation. I spent 2 years, 94 to 96. And I looked through more than 2,000 cases. Then I found that leukemia, malignant lymphoma, lungs cancer, and thyroid cancer were the top 4 cancer on the top list. And then I went back to the textbook and tried to make sense to link them. Then I found that those 4 cancers, they have one thing in common. That is caused by radiation. Then everything is clear. In Xinjiang, everybody knows that great motherland is testing atom bomb against Americans. They told us atom bomb doesn't damage your health. So we didn't care about that. When I discovered this, I said, okay, so that is all a lies. So I determined to blow this up. I find that chance and come to Turkey to study Turkish. Then I met this Channel 4 crew. Then we made this documentary film. Then, yes, I lost the chance to go home. Since I was treated so badly, and I wasn't treated as equal with other Han Chinese doctor, I'm fed up with that. By the time I was crossing the border by train, crossing into Kazakhstan, at that moment, I said to myself, I will show you how big that fish is. The fish has gone. This is a translation from a Chinese saying. Because when I was leaving, I already come to a conclusion about this nuclear victim issue. So I said I will make big revenge for the mistreatment of me and my people. And I did. Well, my relationship with the Chinese Communist Party is not finished yet because they have done a lot to restrict my activity in this country. Even my license as a minicab driver got refused to renew because somebody complained that I removed organs from a prisoner, then he is danger to the public, therefore cannot work in the public sector. So I couldn't renew my minicab license, so I have to drive lorry to make a living now. I do feel safe. But for example, if Chinese government speak to the UK government, say Uyghurs, they are terrorists, then UK government will keep an eye on you since they have a diplomatic relationship, and then this is something you got to do. So that has put some restriction on my work. For example, I established 2 non-profit organizations try to bring the scholars together to solve the Xinjiang problem. One is called the Silk Road Dialogue, and another one is called Uyghur Christian Society. And after 4 years running, just both organizations' bank account got closed at the same day. They refused to give me the open reason. You see, this is how you feel the Chinese long-arm control, and this is still happening. After that documentary film, I went back to Turkey and tried to continue my work there. Then a Taiwanese journalist sent me a document saying Chinese premier is coming to visit Turkey and they're going to sign extradition treaty. Then I decided to leave. That time I already applied for refugee status to the UNHCR, and I got it. Then I received that warning, so I went to British Embassy and I said, look, this is my ID and I am surgeon. I want to have holiday in London. Sorry, I was lying. And they gave me visa. Then I come here and I claimed asylum. I miss whole China and my land. There's something we need to know is Chinese people, they are nice. It is this government and this system. This system, agitates the Chinese people to against minority. This is the system. And we shouldn't forget that the largest victim group of the Chinese Communist Party is Chinese. We are only 15 million, and they are, how many? 1 billion something. That's a lot. They are the largest victim group of the Chinese Communist Party.